So many of you. Oh, Tatum, gotcha, I think. Good. All right, thanks everyone for joining us. Got head coach Clark Lee here. Coach, if you don't mind, just kind of your thoughts on Friday night's scrimmage and what you're looking for out of the Commodores on Friday night.
Well, we're a little banged up right now, and so I think the first thing I'm looking for is to get out healthy with the team that can finish up next week. And so may not go quite as long as we went the last scrimmage or we had kind of designed to go, but it's just kind of the next iteration, right? We're now through a full install. We might include some 2-minute situations, which we worked on in practice today, but we have the base level components of our red zone tight red zone goal line end, short yardage end, and so just looking for execution in those areas, some of the game day mechanics. And we're going to have coaches on headsets, so we're working the lines of communication too. So really just looking to at our first opportunity to work the game day operation. Want to see the team at a little bit of an advanced level of execution on our base concepts, and then we'll see them handle some of the newer install, and then maybe some special situation work again for us just to get the exposure to the situations.
Sounds great. If you guys got a question, use the raise hand function. Adam, saw you first, so go ahead.
Yeah, Clark, with head coaches, it's kind of a wide range of what influence they have on their coordinators and setting the offense and defense. You can dictate or you can suggest, that sort of thing. How have you managed or decided of how much of a say you're going to have in what the offense and defense looks like?
Well, ultimately, it's all my responsibility, and I trust these guys. They're smart and they're capable, and so we start there. I mean, I want to see their vision come to fruition, and then I want to help. And I think one area that is really important for me is just the team identity, how this is complementary, and how we develop that team identity through spring as we get to know ourselves, get to know our personnel, our strengths, maybe our weaknesses. And, this has always been about, how we find ways to win games. And that starts with, again, the best mentally and physically conditioned team in the country, but it becomes about how we deploy schemes, how we strategically move our team to give us the best chance to be one point better than the opponent. And so I get to sit back, have a big picture look, and I'll meet every day with those guys. And a lot of times I'll make it cut up with practice and just, maybe that's to say, why are we doing this? Or, what was were his eyes bad, or was the technique wrong? Or, in this passing concept, how do we get a little more horizontal stretch out of it to make the read a little cleaner for the quarterback? I've had a blast, being able to drop in those ways. And I think in like not being an offensive guy, I can still contribute to the offensive side of the ball because, my responsibility has been defending modern offense. And so, some of the things that maybe give a defensive perspective to a concept, I can help tighten up some areas to make sure our rhythm and timing is right. We're getting the ball into space and we're giving our offense a chance to move the ball.
And in hiring your coordinators, did you try to get people that were as close to in your image as possible so that they fit what you want to do naturally? Or do these guys, are they a little bit different from you so that there's multiple suggestions coming around the room? What's the range of those guys compared to your identity?
There is alignment, and there's an understanding of what my vision for this program is and how this program is going to find success. There is total alignment in those areas, but I want personality differences. I mean, I think that's important. I don't want everyone to communicate. I think the message needs to be the same, but the way it's packaged needs to be different. That keeps it fresh. That keeps players engaged. These guys are smart and talented. That came through in the interview. I wanted to see the ability, not to be so stuck in a system that, we're going to beat our head against the wall just trying to do one thing, but have the creativity and the ability to step back and say, hey, how do we find a way to manufacture a play here or play there, or create the matchup we need? I'm talking specifically offensively, but those were conversations that we had through the interview process, and I took my time on those, to make sure the personality is distinct, but the personality needs to fit. This is a team, and we're into team success here, and that needs to permeate this building. And so the alignment in those areas was critical for me. I wanted to know the people in the coordinator roles were going to be able to see the big picture with me and not get caught up in their own, seeing life out of their own straw, so to speak. But beyond that, I want them to bring what makes them unique to the table too, because that's how you build something special.
Thanks.
Michael Bratton, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, Michael Bratton from Saturday Down South. I wanted to ask you about special teams. Now, I know everything that happened at Vanderbilt before you got there is nothing on you, but the special teams has been a real weakness of Vanderbilt in recent seasons. So, I'm just curious to know, you spend an assistant, you use an assistant as a coordinator. That's not something all things coaches do, but we're starting to see more and more of that. So just kind of curious to get your thoughts on the emphasis of special teams in your program, and how confident you are that you can turn that into a strength. Because the way I see it, I don't know if you feel the same, but if Vanderbilt's going to win some games next year, they're probably going to be some tight games, and going to need that side of the ball to be a strength instead of a weakness.
Certainly, one of my first hires was Justin Lustig. That was intentional. I mean, I knew out of the gate that I wanted to try to secure the best special teams coordinator I could. And to me, that's two, there were two layers to that. Well, I guess three. One is, again, the personality fit within, and the vision fit. I wanted someone that was aligned with, how we were going to build this program. But that role needs personality to it. I mean, that role needs to energize your team. It needs to build a culture within a culture. And so I was very interested in the style of play as I was evaluating for that position hire. I wanted to find someone whose units played really, really hard. And then the other side of it was just the schematic, or the ability to generate plays or generate field position. You wanted to see, I didn't want this just to be like, let me go find a young, energetic, coach that can build spirit in the unit. Like, I wanted to have someone that had a demonstrated track record of successful special teams, whether that's, generating blocks, explosive returns, or just applying pressure, snap in, snap out in teams. Certainly, someone who has awareness of the importance of field position. So, Justin Lustig has been phenomenal in his role, and I'm so excited for him to continue to build that culture within the culture. He is the assistant head coach, but he's the head coach of the special teams units, and he does a tremendous job of building that identity. I don't even going beyond what you said. I think, for Vanderbilt, the best version of Vanderbilt football is going to be a team that understands the complementary pieces to winning, right? Like, our offense needs to complement our defense needs to complement our offense, and our special teams has to create for us. And I think that'll be true here from day one to the finish point. And so having someone really that solidified that aspect of the game, that could build an advantage through special teams, and really just generate a care factor within that area that can move this program forward, because it's just an area of the game where we can create an advantage for ourselves, and we intend to do that. So I appreciate the question. It's a good question, and certainly an area of focus for us. And in the spring, a lot of it is fundamental technical work. We're not doing a lot of scouted live reps, but we're certainly getting some of that. And so it's been a good spring so far.
Thanks, Coach.
Robbie.
Hey, Clark. It seems like there's, a few positions on the field where freshmen, if they play well and earn it, will have maybe an opening to get a fair amount of snaps. So how can seeing those guys in a scrimmage situation, as opposed to just practice, really help you guys evaluate, like a true freshman who hasn't played in an actual, live college football game yet?
Well, it's just, Robbie, it's so early, and so, obviously I'm excited to watch those guys perform. And I think as as young competitors, there is an element probably where, you have this game mode mindset, but I think as a program, we're not subscribing to that. Like we believe that the game day is culmination of the work in the week. And so what we say here is that every rep we take in practice should be treated as a game rep. And a lot of that's come from a response to practice habits that revealed themselves early. Is a one-on-one drill just an opportunity to fill 5 minutes in a practice schedule, or are we attacking the ball in the air like it is the most important possession in a game? Well, we need to be attacking the ball in the air like it's the most important possession in the game. And once we develop that mindset within our practice, I think these competition battles won't wait for scrimmages. They'll be played out every single day. And that point is when the program will be at a competitive level. We still have to be developmental and we have to develop skills, but as a competitive level, that'll be the moment where we are operating in a manner that we want to operate. Right now, scrimmage is a chance to play some live football. The lights will go on tomorrow night, right? That's kind of a cool thing too. And I'll be excited to see who steps up and who handles the adversity well. The adversity will come, and who breaks the play when the offense needs a play to break, who attacks the ball in defense and gets it turned over. But hopefully moving forward, those things won't be relegated to scrimmages. That'll be stuff that we see happening day in, day out.
Michael, did you have another?
Yeah, real quick, less serious question from me, but are you at all regretting not putting the jerseys or the numbers on the jerseys? Because I'm sitting here looking at the photos you're putting out, wondering how in the hell you guys are evaluating practice, at least the film,
Yeah, well, you get to know all the features of your players: the gait, the stance, the body type. No, we look, it's that's been an important part for us, and there are inconveniences. I'm not going to lie, but I think the ability here to stay patient with that so that we continue to double down. And look, we're not going to all of a sudden put jerseys on them and then our journey's done. The things that we're trying to build into this program right now are going to be things that don't just last, but they actually, we continue to move the needle forward. And so, yes, there are inconveniences to it, but certainly an important thing that we're doing, and we're going to keep doing it until we feel like we start to see guys, really take hold of the standards that we're preaching.
Thanks.
Robbie?
Yeah, just a quick one, Clark. Did you guys add in the extra snap counts for the offensive line by now? I assume they don't just have one like in the last scrimmage.
There are multiple accounts now. So we're going to see, hopefully we'll get some defense drawn off sides tomorrow night. Now, if we don't, then good on the defense, right? Now, the next thing will be we have to change the words we use to identify the cadence, because that's just what happens when you get to know each other too well. But no, we have some of those mechanics in, and that'll be some of the things that we practice.
Coach, before I let you go, I had one for Javon Hay. How important was it for you to keep him on staff and have him around a guy who's lived it just like you have?
So powerful. We have 5 people in this building that, we're Vanderbilt student athletes that surround these players every day, between me, Javon, Norval, Earl Bennett, and then obviously Candace Lee. And, when you start looking at that from a recruiting standpoint or just a player development standpoint, you have people around these guys every day that are examples of how to navigate. We walked these hallways, we navigated this campus to a level of success that allowed us to reach for achievement in our own lives. And so, so I think that's a great feature of this program, but Javon specifically, I always say this, Javon, he still is, man. Javon is my captain. And Javon Hay was one of the most impactful leaders as a young person that I was ever around. He was relatable. He was tough. There was player-to-player accountability. He loves Vanderbilt football. I mean, he lives it and loves it every day. And to have him alongside me to help bridge the gap that's created at times when you're the head coach and you don't have the depth of relationship everywhere that you want to have. I got a guy who's building those relationships and understands absolutely what we want to accomplish here together. And it's such a powerful thing to have. And Javon also is a dynamic recruiter too. And he's a dynamic recruiter because he's got personality and energy, and he believes in the product he's selling. So what a great person to have with me. And like I said, it's great to have my captain on staff. It's a big thing for me.
All right, on that, we'll let you go enjoy this beautiful day. Appreciate it.
All right. Hey, thanks again, everybody, for your interest. See you soon.
Thanks, Clark. Thanks, Chad.